Today is Monday. What does that mean? Today is Monday. That means September 14th is what? Just right around the goddamn corner. Today is September 6th. The 14th, that's 8 days. 8 days. This is like what? The last 5 days? Next Monday or Tuesday? So this is the last week. Are we going to get universal health care? Are we going to see Jimmy Dore and Hassan Piker? Are we going to force a vote on to Gavin Newsom? There's at least 4 candidates that's in favor of universal health care. So this piece of shit, Gavin Newsom, promised to get us universal health care. The Democrats have a super majority, a veto-proof super majority. So if the Democratic Party was actually serious about getting universal health care, or if Gavin Newsom was serious about getting universal health care, I guarantee you Kapilovitz would get us universal health care. I guarantee you John Robert Drake would get us universal health care. I guarantee it David Moore and Michael Loebs would get us universal health care. So force the fucking vote. Vote yes on the recall. No. Get the fuck out of here, Gavin Newsom. You tried to do your thing, but you're a fucking hypocrite. We can't stand hypocritical motherfuckers. Right? That whole we, thee thing. Rules for thee, but not for me. Rules for thee, but not for me. So, motherfuckers, just the hypocrisy is all over the goddamn place. So, this has nothing to do with any of that. This is about Gene Guerrero and Larry Elder and his arch nemesis, Gene Guerrero. Who is Gene Guerrero? I don't know. I'm just going to read this little paragraph thing. It's just a little starter video to get the blood flowing. I want to make one quick comment. Kirk Kaz, I ended it off on a thing that I didn't say I didn't say at all what I mean. I said I hope. The quote is, you hope for the best, but you expect the worst, so that you're never disappointed. And so that's, yeah, you hope for the best, but you expect the worst. And so I guess I was just kind of thinking, fuck. Kirk Kaz might be dead. Kirk Kaz, there might be, something bad could have happened to him. Or maybe, 10 days, he's been quiet for some time. I was thinking that Primo Radical, I haven't heard that Primo Radical guy for a while, too. So it was like, well, shit, he might be dead, too. Sometimes people are just, quiet for a month or two. It has nothing to do with, maybe he's just like, wow, that was a harrowing experience. I'm just gonna take a nice nap up here in this Dominican Republic city, far, far away from that motherfucking border. I'm gonna live large for the next 2 months. So, we are trying to find out who Gene Guerrero is. My thing is, I've seen a couple things. So she's, I've seen her on MSNBC, and she's like a journalist, and she goes around giving interviews. Dave Rubin has interviewed her, I believe. I don't know. There was like some conservative that interviewed her, and then there was Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke had interviewed her. For some reason, so 2010, 2013, Guerrero is a Mexico City bureau correspondent for the Wall Street Journal. Dow Jones Newswire is reporting on Mexico and Central America. She was an investigative reporter for KPBS in San Diego. 2015 to 2019, Guerrero is a regular contributor to NPR, PBS NewsHour, PRI's The World, with appearances on Democracy Now!, MSNBC, CBC, among others. Her writing has appeared in the New York Times, Columbia Journalism Review, Vanity Fair, Wired, The Daily Beast, The Nation, and other outlets. Guerrero is an opinion columnist for the LA Times. The Los Angeles Times. So there you go. Gene Guerrero, they ambushed poor Larry Elder. He didn't know Gene Guerrero was going to be there. Yeah, she's on the fucking thing, and I'm sure behind the scenes you guys convinced your fucking selves that she should be there. But when you said, he said who's going to be there, you didn't mention her. And then all of a sudden that weird motherfucker where he's just got the, the bangs, and he's maybe just doing too much with his mouth, right? He's just up in the camera, just, let me give you an easy question for right now. Yeah, I'm on the side of Larry Elder, motherfucking. The LA Times just made Larry Elder look like a fucking beast. Jesus Christ, he's a fucking conservative. You don't have to hate the motherfucker. Jesus fucking Christ, y'all look stupid as shit. So, Gene Guerrero, she's an opinion columnist for the LA Times, wasn't told. She was there at the thing, tried to ask a question, And, you know, I don't know what the beef is between Larry Elder and Jean Guerrero, if there's something more to it than just her policies, or he said that she has called him everything up to a David Duke for, you know, in blackface or something. So essentially she's, you know, saying what a lot of people are saying. And I've asked the question. I'll say this. I think he's more of an Uncle Tom than an Uncle Ruckus. In the spectrum of the uncles, right, he isn't just like, he don't like hate black people from like the pit of his stomach. He don't like shit he doesn't understand or doesn't seem to, you know, jive with his framework of the world. So he's not as, you know, he's not as big of a sellout as some other Uncle Ruckus is out there. 2010-2013, Guerrero is a Mexico City bureau correspondent for the Wall Street Journal, Dow Jones Newswires. She's an investigative journalist. That's the main thing. Jean Carolyn Guerrero is an investigative journalist. There was some book where she said something. Okay, her book, Hate Monger, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, and the White Nationalist Agenda. So she put out this very partisan book, right? Fuck Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and the White Nationalist Agenda. But that's an important topic. Somebody needs to write that book. But maybe, you know, she said something about that. Maybe he hates her policies. Maybe she did have an opinion column where she just fucking shits all over them. Like, I mean, I just shitted all over you for an hour, you know. I'm not shitting on you now. She had her makeup was all done, and I kind of felt a little bit sorry for her, but actually reminded me of Igby Goes Down. There's a scene in Igby Goes Down where you have this, you know, multi-millionaire, and then you have his mistress, and she had, you know, decked herself out, and he was sitting at the table, like, waiting for her, and then when she came up, then she was kind of nervous because she didn't know how it was going to be. They hadn't seen each other for a while, and so they had a falling out, and he was just kind of dabbling, you know, I'm going to give you a moment, I'm going to give you a chance, I'm going to see, is there something here? Is there actually something here? So he's sitting at the table, and then when she comes around, she kind of gives this little half-fainted smile, and maybe, you know, it was the lack of confidence. She came in with all the confidence in the world, maybe that would have been the thing, but she really wanted him to love her, and so she gave this half-fainted smile, and then he just shook his head, you know, and then threw his napkin down on the table, and then walked away. So they tried, right? They tried, and then that fucking weird guy with the bangs, and he's like, with his mouth, he's like, we'll just ask the question, and see what happens, okay? Motherfucker, you lied. You lied. That's a breach of contract. If anything, you should just been like, I lied. I'll have to take the guff. And it was awkward and weird, so they made it fucking weird, and they didn't have to because, she needed to ask a question about immigration. Why did it have to be her? It could have been anybody. Just ask a question, what are your thoughts about immigration? What are your thoughts about the driver's license? What are your thoughts about the health care for immigrants? What are your thoughts about, why do you need, whatever. So, she's an investigative journalist, author, essayist, columnist, former foreign correspondent, author of Crux, a cross-border memoir, which was the winner of the PEN Fusion Emerging Writers Prize, and The Hate Monger, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, and the White Nationalist Agenda, published in 2020 by William Morrow. So go out and get your copy of Hate Monger. Stephen Miller, Larry Elder actually mentored Stephen Miller. Larry Elder also wants Stephen Miller to become president one day. Hey, Stephen Miller, maybe one day you'll become president. Ha 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 ha. Jean Carolyn Guerrero's KPBS series America's Wall won an Emmy Award. Her essay, My Father Says He's a Targeted Individual, Maybe We All Are, was selected for the Best American Essays Anthology of 2019. The sarcolipin was the micropeptide protein that I was thinking about with my lectures about muscles. Sarcolipin. I think sarcolipin is this little light of mine. If you have sarcolipin, then you know your body just maintains a warm 98.6 temperature. Why? Because of sarcolipin. So you need that sarcolipin, that micropeptide protein that in humans is encoded by the SNL gene. So I know you know this, America. Sarcolipin, micropeptide protein in humans. It's encoded by the SLN gene. The SNL, of course, is Saturday Night Live. So there you go. Sarcolipin. We talked about Kirk Cass. Talked about Jean Carolyn Guerrero. Got my chops moving. Got the old chops moving. Force a vote. I can't. What the fuck? I could throw the idea out there, but I don't. You know, it's too quiet. I don't. I'm very disappointed in California. Like, y'all don't talk about your all's elections. Am I the weird one? I mean, I'm like talking about the policies and the platforms, and I'm like comparing and contrasting, and I'm thinking about the recall and the second part of the question. There's 46. You know, well, you would say that, Roger O'Malley. I think my invisible friend. He's always against me. Oh, you son of a bitch. So, Roger O'Malley. You need to watch your goddamn mouth, motherfucker. So, besides being Larry Elder's arch nemesis, who is Jean Guerrero, she's an investigative journalist. That's who the fuck she is. Today's Monday. You got 5 days. Goddamn Gavin Newsom and the Democrats. The fucking Democrats, the veto-proof supermajority. The Democrats have already buried a single-payer bill. You had Schwarzenegger bury a bill. Here, I'll go ahead and give you the text. Universal health care for California now. There you go. There. 7 words. Get a bunch of sponsors. Get people to sign it. I want a House floor vote or a Senate floor vote. The Assembly. Oh, okay, California. The Assembly. I want a floor vote in the Assembly. I want a floor vote in the Senate. I want Gavin Newsom to put this shit up. You got 5 fucking days. The legislature's still in session right now. California is the 5th largest economy. They get health care. Hell, 49 other motherfucking states might go ahead and try to, take a swing at health care. You know how Otto Van Bismarck did it? He did it where it was totally free. He just said, okay, every time anybody goes to the hospital, we're going to have a fund where 1/3 of the fund comes from employers and 2/3 come from the employees. So he just taxed everybody and then had an administrator fucking take that tax and put it into a fund and then put it to, clinics and shit. Larry Elder, you know what happens if you get Larry Elder as governor of California? You get Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager, the head of fucking, goddamn immigration and education, and Dave Rubin and Hannity and Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson. Oh, what? Jimmy Dore can't say shit, right? He's friends with Tucker Carlson. Keep it quiet, Jimmy Dore. Don't talk about the goddamn election. Don't talk about the 46 other candidates. Don't research it. Don't even participate in the electoralism. And then once it all goes awry, then you just be a critical fucking dickhead. You didn't try, you didn't do shit, and then it all went down, and then you could say, see, it's all, what? Ironically, you're just so detached in a... Have you ever tried democracy? Has he ever ran for office? Has he ever, backed progressive candidates? Do y'all know how to do democracy at all? Jesus Christ. You're about to lose your entire fucking state. Yeah, you're mad about the Republicans getting the recall passed. They got 2 million fucking signatures. The fucking courts, they got it through the courts. They got it. It's here. It's going to be here in just a week. And actually, it's here right now because they vote every fucking day up until the last fucking day. So it's right now is election day. This is a campaign, so that means the candidates should say, hey, I have all these ideas and platforms, and I would love to discuss them and parse. Let's talk policy all fucking day. All fucking day. Jesus Christ. Today is Monday. We got 5 days to get universal health care. We got 5 days to... you got to recall Gavin Newsom. He's going to get recalled. It's already fucking 50-50, and it's going to topple over. It's going to topple over. And if not, then, he barely win by the skin of his chinny chin, and really, they should be introspective, but they won't be. So, California might actually need a fucking loss to get a nice kick in the dick so they can, think about what the fuck they're supposed to listen to you fucking pricks. Jesus Christ. You guys aren't any better than goddamn... Might as well just... told everybody, black folks in Alabama to go to the other states. Don't go to California. If you live in Alabama and you have a chance to go to California, stay put. Stay right there in Alabama. Be around, amongst family and friends, neighborhood, community that you understand and know. Yeah, it won't be, if anything, Oregon, Montana. Go to Montana. There's like no black folks in Montana. So you'll be a token. They'll adore you up there. Just go to, if you live in Alabama or California, you should go to Montana because, you know, white supremacy and whatnot. Jean Carolyn Guerrero, she was born in 1988. So that means she's, 12 plus 21 years of age. She's 33 years of age. She's an American investigative journalist, an author, essayist, columnist, former correspondent. Do we want to listen? Do we have a clip of, oh, we do. KPBS. She's talking about her new book, Crux, a cross-border memoir. She traces family history in the new memoir. And then here's another one where she's talking about hate monger. Let's listen to one and then listen to the other.
Jean, welcome. Thanks for having me. I must say I am enjoying Crux. Can you tell us a little bit about it? So Crux is the story of me trying to confront my lifelong obsession with my father, trying to reconcile the man that he became with the man that he once was. When I was a little girl, he was my primary caretaker. My mother's a doctor, so she was busy with patients, and so I spent most of my time with him. And I just have these really vivid memories of him taking me outside and discovering the natural world with me. He would take me to the coast of Baja and take me to the tide pools and pull out hermit crabs and seaweed and place it in my hands and tell me what everything was called. And he would point at the ocean and tell me these fascinating stories about all the things that lived inside the ocean. So I just have these really vivid memories of my father being this person who was full of wonder and curiosity and playfulness. And then one day it was gone. My father started sleeping all day and eventually became convinced that the CIA was after him, started doing things like wrapping himself up in aluminum foil. And my mother told me that he had paranoid schizophrenia. He had his own fantastical tales about what the CIA was doing to him. And I didn't know what was going on. All I knew as a child was that whatever was happening had taken my father away from me. And it's something that has obsessed me ever since. And I've wanted to solve it. And as an adult, I decided to do it through journalism. Your writing is beautifully descriptive, even.
So there you go. She's had some, heartaches. She's had some struggles. Her father seemed like he was a fucking awesome motherfucker, and then just fucking snapped. Started wrapping himself up in aluminum foil. I mean, don't you hate it when that happens, when the old man just starts wrapping himself up in aluminum foil? Turns out he was a paranoid schizophrenic the whole time.
Local programming on KRWG Public Media made possible in part by viewers like you. Thank you.
Dun, 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 dun. This is Anthony Marino, KRWG News, talking to Jean Guerrero, author of Hate Monger. I'm going 3 minutes in.
The book, you really go back and spend some time actually on Stephen Miller's high school days, going back that far and interview people who knew him in high school, friends and an advisor. So share with us what you found out about his early years in high school.
Well, from the time that Stephen Miller was a teenager growing up in liberal Santa Monica, California, expressing racist viewpoints, breaking up with a Mexican friend because of his Latino heritage. A teenager growing up in liberal Santa Monica, California, he was expressing racist viewpoints, breaking up with a Mexican friend because of his Latino heritage, going around telling his Mexican classmates to speak English and to go back home to their country because they couldn't learn the American way. He would go to school board meetings to argue against measures to improve racial equity in the school. So, from a very young age, just very outspoken and very passionate about these issues in a way that was surprising to people. And the more that I dug for the book, Hate Monger, the more I began to realize that this is a case study in radicalization. Stephen Miller, was going through a hard time during this period in his life. His family, his father, who's in real estate, had lost a lot of money related to various bankruptcies and legal disputes.